Yo, people, welcome back to the Soccer PM podcast. This is episode 8, hosted by your boy George, joined by my lovely panel, usual co-hosts and cohorts. We have from Fanzone TV, the champion, as you can see by the shirt behind him, man like Dean. What you saying?
What we saying, man? All good. Love, respect, beautiful day. Let's go.
Yeah, man, sun's out. We're really in summer season. As I said, joining him from Fanzone TV side of things, man like D. How you been?
Yeah, bro. Cameras all over the place. I'm just a bit of a mess, but you know what I mean? We move. We can't stop the hustle, you get me?
As I said there, people, look, even with the not the right tools for the thing, we're still getting it done to make sure the episode's out 6 p.m. every Thursday, as you can see in the banner below. But last but definitely not least, man like Hooks. What you saying, bro?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. I'm out here surviving, you get me. But keep it moving, man. Keep it moving. You get me?
Yeah, man. Well, as you heard there, man, I'm fighting just like his team, trying to fight for players and them things. But we're not going to go into any of that, because we're trying to keep on focus on what is ahead of us right now. But before we go into any of the good stuff, make sure you are subscribing to everyone's channels. As you can see in the ticker below us, Famzone TV for D and Dean, Halftime Hooks for Hooks, and then Durag Diaries for myself. Every Thursday, 6 p.m. this will be released. But I guess we have to start with my team today because there's been big news. And as we've spoken about pretty much in a lot of the other episodes, Andrew's been sacked. Andrew's finally been sacked. It was released last week on the Friday that Andrew was relieved of his post. Daniel Levy and co are no longer happy with how the season had played out. And they've opted for a new man. And that is Thomas Frank from Brentford. Before I say anything on the appointment, I'm going to bring it to the rivals, and I'm going to go D first. What do you think of the appointment? What do you think of Frank as a manager? And I suppose, do you think that he puts Tottenham in a better position than we was last season?
Is it confirmed? Is it confirmed? Or is
Pretty much
more or less done?
Yeah.
I think top class manager, man. I think it's about time a British manager got the credit. And
British?
I can't use it.
Well, no, not British. So he's Danish. He's Danish, isn't it? He's Danish, isn't it? Sorry. Is he Danish, isn't it?
Yeah,
Danish?
like
Danish, isn't it? I think so.
Danish,
Sorry.
Danish.
But yeah. I think it's about time managers like that are steady, that get a chance to get to manage one of the bigger clubs, man. He deserves it, man. Brentford are brilliant. He definitely deserves one of those top clubs. It's a brilliant appointment because it's like that's like a real steady, clever appointment. I feel it's not risky at all. There's no risk to it, and there's no risk to your play. I don't know. You got to be a bit prepared for how he plays though, because he's a very like steady manager, isn't he? He's a very steady manager, isn't it? So you got to be prepared for that if you're willing to. But the fact that you guys have won a Europa League now and won silverware, I think now you can focus on progression in the league because you've won. You don't have to. You've got that hoodoo off your back. So yeah, it's a great. I think it's a brilliant appointment. I think any manager, any team that becomes available in the top 8, 10 should be looking at the Thomas Franks 100%. I don't think there's any. The job he's done there is marvelous, and he's made players that are not that you come across are not the best in the world look like they're brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a brilliant signing. I don't see any negatives about that whatsoever.
And Hooks, just from the Arsenal side of things, do you agree with D? Do you have any fear of Thomas Frank's appointment to Tottenham?
I think he's a proper class manager. I won't lie. I think he's a proper class manager, man. He kind of ticks every box. For me, at least, like I actually think that there's a big L for Manchester United because I think that they should have actually gone for Thomas Frank instead of.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, he's seasoned in the Premier League, so he understands like the expectation. He understands what needs to be done, and he understands the level of competition. Like it's not really a risk. I feel like you could have potentially gone for like a manager abroad, but that would have been a risk. Whereas he's seasoned, like pretty much, I think back to back, he's finished somewhere between 8th to 12th with Brentford, which I think is really good, given, I guess, the lack of funds that he's been given to improve the team. He takes players and just transcends them to a whole new level. You know, a few examples. Mbumo's one. He had Ivan Toney doing absolute bits at Brentford as well. Wissa, another one as well. Damsgaard, even that Nathan Collins brother. I think that's his name. Nathan Collins. Doing absolute bits. He's a tactician.
Rayo.
Oh yeah, David Raya as well. Yeah, big credit.
Yeah, Watkins originated from Brentford as well.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Let me just say one thing before Hawks continues. Another thing that I feel like he does that's brilliant as well is a lot of these other managers that we look at from the top clubs, they've also failed at top clubs when they've had the chance. So you know, like the Graham Potters, the David Moyes, those guys, Marco Silva, even when he went to Everton, it's a bigger club. These guys have actually failed at that. Thomas Frank hasn't yet had that chance yet. So it feels way less risky. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't feel like he hasn't got to there yet. But yeah, sorry, go on.
I agree, and like he's a tactician. I don't know if you've actually heard him speak, but his philosophy on the game, like he's up, like what he's gonna do is, I guess, all the things that a lot of Tottenham fans wanted from Ange, which is adapt tactically, and he will do that. Like only will he set you up, he will act. He's sort of someone that will like proper analyze the opponent and actually build things based upon the strengths that he has.
He goes as far, bro, to do things like I remember watching some interview with him saying, for one, like you said, if he said he believes the strongest thing, or obviously he said he was biased towards himself, but the best thing a manager can do is adapt. And going into every game, he plans 3 scenarios for each game. He has an AA scenario for if his team just, you know, plays out and the game's winning. He has an AB scenario for if the game plan's not working, but they're still level. And then like a B scenario for if they're 1-0 down. All different scenarios. He has 5 different substitutions that he's going to make, and all the ways that this substitution is going to have an impact. Some might be a like for like if they're 1-0 down, but if they're winning, they're going to bring on another one to go get more. Like he's a proper, like say, tactician. He's thinking ahead, like the Pep Guardiola level of tactics and mind game side of things. So that's the one thing I really rate about him. I really rate the tactical side of his game. But don't you think? Do you have questions of whether he can do it at the top level though? Because he's obviously never been proven here.
None at all.
Same, zero.
Do you know why? Because when I look at a manager like Thomas Frank, I go, cool. When you're exposed to more funds, you can actually go and get players that fits more into what you actually want to do. Like I feel like he's always had to like scour the market and find like deals that work for Brentford to be able to play the way he wants to play at Tottenham, which I think is going to work in Levy's favor, or whoever, because Levy may be on his way out, whoever it is at the helm that's deciding how much budget you get to spend. He's not going to need as much as someone else, but what you give him is more than he ever would have had in his life. So players that he's had to kind of ignore in the past, he doesn't have to ignore anymore. And what he's probably going to do is he's going to come in, and I guess you can do this as a Tottenham fan. You can be like, all right, for example, a good example is James Maddison. Yeah. You look at James Maddison and you can actually just look at Mikel Damsgaard and be like, oh, okay, I kind of see what Frank's gonna do with Maddison. Like you can look at, like, for example, maybe even Kulusevski. You could look at Kulusevski and you could be like, okay, who is he gonna kind of partner with Kulusevski to try and reproduce that kind of Mbumo, Vissa kind of combinations? Like I can only imagine as a Tottenham fan right now, you probably didn't watch too many Brentford games throughout the season, but now you might actually go back and watch the highlights and try and understand, okay, where's he going to take this team? He's a very defensively solid manager as well, which I think a lot of people don't realize. So people like Van der Ven, they're going to go up another ceiling. I wouldn't be surprised if you change your right back situation, maybe even both fullbacks, because I don't know how he will. I don't know, because he had Rico Henry, right? Left back. Rico Henry.
Bad man.
A bad man. He bombed. So I don't know, from my perspective, and it's annoying because I think that he's someone. Okay, put it this way. I think he will do a lot better in the Champions League next season than what Ange would have done. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'd agree with that too. I think you've got to look at, like I say, the way that he plays. He's going to go into each Champions League game probably with a different game plan and doing what you need to do in the Champions League. Ultimately, it's a knockout competition. Once you get through to the proper rounds, just got to win games. Just got to get through the games, not really caring about holding down on your principles and your systems. But like you said there, I think a lot of people confuse them to think that he's a defensive manager because they've seen him play counter-attacking and more defensive style of football in the Premier League. But in the Championship, if anyone watched Brentford, they were probably one of the most exciting teams to watch going forward. Attacking play, when they had Benrahma, Watkins and Mbeumo, they were just lighting up the league. And he's a good manager, and I respect what he's done. I think for me, just the questions are, and I wanted a more proven manager, someone who's performed at the top level. But I think he reminds me of Eddie Howe when he left Bournemouth, that he was primed and ready to take on a bigger job. And then he eventually got that Newcastle job, and we're seeing, him reap the rewards. They're very similar in the way that they set up and so on. And Brentford are actually the 5th highest goal scoring team in the Premier League last year. So going forward, I don't think we'll have too many problems. But sorry, go on.
Just another quick thing, yeah. Something that I think is super important, and it's me personally now, that I think is super important as a coach, like of people, is that you're able to explain yourself very clearly what you want. And every time I've listened to him speak, he's very clear. Like, you can clearly tell that he's super intelligent. He's very clear. There's going to be no mixed messages or don't really understand. Like, the players are going to completely understand what it is that he wants them to do, which I think is only going to be another benefit. And I mean, just to go back to a earlier point as well, Dee said something about the what was it? It's gone. You know what? It's gone. It's gone.
No, but you know what? There's another thing as well. Before you finish, I know you want to move on to Dean. Is you don't see him in any chaos on the sidelines. He's never in any chaos on the sidelines, and he's never in any mayhem in press conferences ever. With win, lose or draw, you never see him.
That's because he's not at a big club. So naturally, especially with regards to, like, say, press conferences, no one's taking out 1 or 2 liners that he said in press conferences and putting it all over the news because no one cares about
potentially. But I still feel like he's one of those managers that is so, like, calm, very likable and very calm and collected. So it's quite hard to get those guys. You don't really want to write negative articles or have that. And another thing he does, he always beats the big teams. He's a major problem for Arsenal, away from home and at home. Major problem for Manchester City. Major problem for Man City. Major problem for Arsenal. And he's a big problem for Chelsea. Even Chelsea always scraping through against Brentford, and just about. He's a he's a manager that gets big scalps. He's one of those guys. And
no. And to be fair, when you say about Manchester City, I know in one of Pep Guardiola's press conferences earlier this season, he said that he's one of the best managers in the league, and that he really thinks that.
Easily.
Like he said, a big job's waiting for him around the corner, and he's surprised he hasn't had one already. And we already know Pep Guardiola, when it comes to spotting managers, he's got a very, very good record, with one of your managers being that. But just bringing it to you, Dean. What do you think of Frank?
Well, I think he's so underrated, bro, and I think it's exactly what Tottenham need, bro. I don't think you need to go out in Europe and trying to find the next hot thing. He's what Tottenham need right now. Yeah, you need stability. Like, you need proper stability. Forget all this high line, and this guy will make you a solid team, hard to beat. Pause. Everything you need for next season. Yeah, you're gonna get. Like, some people might say it's a boring appointment, but bruv, this guy has proved himself. Where was Brentford 6-7 years ago? He's made them a proper top 10 team in the Premiership, bro. Like, give him a bit of a budget, give him a better profile. I think this is such a good signing for Tottenham, because especially you're in the Champions League next year, he'll be able to grind out 1-0 victories, something Ange can't do. That's the sort of games you need in the Champions League. You can't be going there attacking everyone in the Champions League. Next year, listen, it'd be good to see what sort of players he wants, because I don't think he's going to, just because he's got a bit more money to spend, I don't think he's going to be looking for the A1 players. I think he's still going to look for the gems and make them, because let's get it right. Brentford's like a working class football team. Everyone works for the badge. You ain't going to get you're going to get certain players that's outstanding, but bro, they all put the work in. And that's that. If you get Tottenham working hard with the players you've got, add a couple more players, it's going to be a good look for Tottenham, man. It's going to be a good look for Tottenham. And you know what? Frank deserves it. If there's a manager in the league that deserves a top job, it's him. He's put his years in, unnoticed. People don't notice him. He just does his thing quietly, and that's the best sort of manager you want. No headlines, like Dee was saying. No controversy. He does his job. He's knowledgeable. All the other managers respect him. Rob, I think this is a proper appointment. I think this is.
And you know what? Yeah, just to pedal off a point that Dee made earlier. Yeah, one super benefit that Thomas Frank has as well is he's going into the Tottenham job without the pressure of needing to figure out how to win a trophy for Tottenham.
Nah, you think that, and because I'm only saying this from I done my boardroom talk show, and on that show it seems like a lot of Spurs fans from the chat and from the panel, a lot of people are now, especially the Ange inners, you can imagine, they're now on the if he don't win that Super Cup or if he don't win something next season, he's got to go. The pressure's going to be on. And now you're probably right.
Super Cup.
I think the pressure's going to be off in some sense for a lot of people because he doesn't have that, like you said, the voodoo of winning a trophy in 17 years. But he does now have the new Spurs fans that have got this now entitlement that he must win a trophy within his 2 seasons because Ange won a trophy within 2 seasons.
Yeah, but that's
mad. You can't go by.
That's more football tribalism, isn't it? You know what I mean?
No, that's not tribalism. That's Tottenham fans. That's only.
No, I know, but I mean, like, instead of actual, like, if you look at it from what the board would want right now, you would want a steady level of progression, a manager that can
steady
start
progress,
the trajectory to start going to where you need to get to as a club. You've done the whole up and down thing and won a trophy. Now you can quieten that noise for a little bit. But the thing is, what is also good is, if you're looking at certain players now, you can attract certain players that will definitely immediately, instantly affect your team. Players like Emirates, immediately he would affect your team.
Immediately.
Like he's living in West London right now. He can just stay around in London. He doesn't need to travel to Manchester to go Manchester United right now. He can just go immediately to Thomas Frank and Tottenham. That's a player that immediately.
Nice. It does sound nice, but he's turned down Arsenal and Tottenham and Newcastle for a move to Man United.
But Thomas Frank wasn't there yet.
Yeah, no, you are right about that. But even reports have come out to say that even with Thomas Frank, it looks like his mind is fully.
His heart set on Man United.
I get what you mean, though. I do get what you mean. It will give us a chance to attract.
No, but you're looking at even Johan Wissa.
Yeah, even Wissa.
I don't want him. I don't want him. I'll be real. He's a good player.
Oh, you know what? You're like me.
I think he's good. There's certain players that are good for that level, but with Tottenham, like we're playing Champions League next year. Respect.
No, you got Solanke. Solanke don't score no goals.
I need a player that's better than Solanke. That's my point. I think
Wissa is better than Solanke.
I think Frank will make Solanke better, but ultimately, I need someone that's a level above. I want, a João Pedro or someone like that, someone who's a bit more all round.
Is João Pedro better? Is João Pedro better than them?
I don't think João Pedro's better.
That's not a jump.
You guys, João Pedro's cold. João Pedro's cold. But
that's not a jump.
We're not going to go into no transfers here.
Sorry. Well, Jules, one more thing here. You see this, the 2-year thing. Your fan base got to get out of head. You got to think about 5 years. You can't just think, because Ange won in 2 years. He's not trying to forget the 2-year winning thing. You need stability. You need a guy to bring you back to where you meant to be, top 6, whatever. It might take 3 or 4 years. You can't just think your fan base can't think, because Ange won it. Bruv, he was 16th when he won it. That's how they got to remember. Remember, if you want to progress, you might not win nothing, but making progress, to me, for a Tottenham fan base, that should be a priority now. You've won something now. Now you need to get back to where you're meant to be.
That's where I'm at. I want to get back to finishing in the top 6 and all of that, focusing back on getting into that Champions League football on a consistent basis. But just on the last thing on Brentford, Dean, because I wanted to bring it to you, because obviously we've had many conversations in the past. And I don't know if you've heard about Brentford's new manager, who is the potential Justin Cochrane, or I think I might have butchered the second name, but he used to work under Frank, and he's obviously of a certain descent. Do you think Brentford are going to manage to stay up with him or not?
No chance. They're in trouble. I'm only joking. Now, you know what? Listen, let's just debunk that, I'm all good for black managers to get their chance. I'm all good for that. Yeah. I was just saying. I'm just going to debunk it quickly. When I said that, I couldn't see a black manager for Liverpool. I want all. Listen, I want everyone to get their opportunity. But when I said that, there was no black managers available to take over for Liverpool or Arsenal. You get me? But I want him to do what. Like if he, the good thing is continuity. Like if he's been there under Frank, he knows what's going on. The players know him. Like hopefully, listen. I'm praying that the players respect him because you know it is not players alike.
Right now, he's like, bro, I don't know, man. Like,
well, because that could be him. If he doesn't get this right, that's him. That's it. You know what it's like for black managers. If you don't get it right straight away, you're not even going to get a coaching job. You're gone. You get me? So I'm praying that the players do respect him, listen to him, and just try to. We're not telling. Obviously, he's not Frank, but if he can just bring some stability, and even if they get a new manager, like another manager, and he still stays part of the coaching, that's a win for me, man. For Brentford, man. You get me? It's a win.
You know what? You know what? As well, yeah. Just quickly. There's two. To look at it on the other side of it, yeah, with Thomas Frank, I feel like if you look at it in comparison to like Nuno at Nottingham Forest, you know that the steady manager can actually get you through a lot of games in the Premier League and a lot of wins and a lot of draws and get you up to that level. But I think also on the flip side, where it's a safe appointment as well, I'm not sure if some people might be like, you need the risky manager to get you well over the line. Do you get it?
Yeah.
I think that's probably how it feels for a lot of Tottenham fans.
Remember, a lot of Tottenham fans want that because it's high risk, high reward, isn't it? You know, the petulant managers are normally the best managers, the ones that live on the edge. But right now, what Tottenham need, like they've had that. They've had that with Ange. Like it's either up or down. Like there's no in between with Ange. This guy is something that Tottenham. You can't come 16th and then risk having a petulant manager again who doesn't care about no one's feelings. You need a manager that's going to say, you know what? Let's get together, lads. Let's sort out the set pieces. Let's sort out the defensive line, and let's just get back up into this Premiership because we can't, bro. The 16th is crazy.
17th.
Really.
17th. Yeah, it was 17th. But European champions. Something that Dior hooks.
Europa League champions. Europa League champions.
No, 17th. No.
Well, are you European champions or Chelsea?
No. So there's
okay.
Again, you wouldn't really know. Do you know what it is? I can't really talk to you about the tiers.
You did ask me the question. Which one is it? Who's European champions?
Again,
who's European champions? You or Chelsea?
Being someone who's never won something in Europe, you generally wouldn't.
Who is European champions? Tottenham or Chelsea?
I thought it was PSG. I don't know.
This week of football, there has actually been outside of Premier League and all. There's been international games. To some people's surprise, because I can't even lie, like I didn't even know international games were going on until they actually started, and then I was like, "Yo, there's Yamal and there's Spain versus France." Didn't even know up until this is all going on.
Portugal, the final as well.
Obviously, they've won the Nations League for the second time.
Hold on, what is this? Hold on, Jules.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys first. What do you guys think of this Nations League? Is this like, is this the Conference League of international? Is that what we call it?
No. It's not. It's the first team playing. It's the main teams playing. That can be the
Conference League. What is it? I thought it was qualifications for saying.
It's just instead of it being super. Yeah, it's just like another. It's like a. Instead of having just friendly games, it's a competition. We're in the friendly slots, I think.
It's just a glorified friendly.
Yeah, but it's a trophy, isn't it? It's a trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like...
And the reason I was saying...
All trophies matter, remember?
Ronaldo was being very shameless.
No, you are right, but...
He was crying over that.
He was crying and all that. But he's looking for records now, isn't he? Ronaldo's looking to break records and wants all the records on the books, doesn't he?
Ronaldo's doing too much.
The Nations League is like...
The conference.
Do you know what?
It's the main teams. It's the big teams, though.
Yeah, but it's not the World Cup or the Euros, is it?
Yeah, but that's what
but it's got the same teams in the Euros. Though.
No, but you have to see it like the competition played like across the year, though. It's not like
it's got the best teams in
the World and Euros and World Cup where you take a month out and you do it. Yeah, it's just played random times.
It's a league. Like, it's a league, isn't it? It's a league, isn't it? It's a league.
Is every country taking it seriously though? Because I ain't watching none of it.
Yeah, they are. You can't say they're not. Every team.
No, I don't know. I don't watch them. I don't watch it.
Every team's
don't
play their
watch it.
full teams, bro. What team do you know that don't play their full teams? Everyone plays.
It's not even about not playing the full team because we know internationals play the full teams. But I'm like, take away the first team aspect. It's a new trophy. Let's have it right.
Yeah.
Do you because it's fans that make football. We make whether the trophy's made. Like FIFA can tell us it's a major trophy. If fans don't care about it, it's not a major trophy. Just like we're seeing with the Club World Cup currently, they're all struggling to sell tickets. So they've now slashed the prices by like 80% to try and get people there. Nobody's gonna care about the Club World Cup if no one can go. So do you think that the Nations League holds the same weight as the Euros and World Cup?
Of course not. Of course not. Of course it doesn't. No.
So we don't respect it like that then. So when we see Ronaldo,
no, but the players, but that's us that don't respect it. We can downplay trophies as much as we want, but if the two teams went for when they will play their full teams, they were both going for it. They all went to penalties, and they were celebrating like it was a big trophy. So it's easy for us to say no, but for the players, if you say to them, "When last did you win your team win an international trophy?" They'll probably say the Nations League.
Yeah. So do you? All right. So
it's easy for us to say that, but those teams, that whole team playing. Nuno Mendes, they just played the Champions League final and won it. He's playing full pelt. Yamal's playing. Zubimendi's playing. There's no players that weren't playing. Vitinha's playing. Ronaldo's playing. Everyone's playing.
Question then, because and I don't want this to dive because this could actually be like a whole 40-minute conversation, which I only just thought of now. Probably not good. Ronaldo now has 3 international honors. Lionel Messi has 3 international honors. 2 Copa Americas, 1 World Cup. Ronaldo 1 Euros, 2 Nations Leagues. Does Ronaldo's international trophies hold the same weight as what Messi's does?
No. Not to us.
No, you're saying that, but for some people, Nations League, I mean, like you said, like let me put your argument out there. Nations League, there's better teams than there is in the Copa America. So is the Nations League now better than the Copa America? Or is the Copa
but Messi won the World Cup as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. And Thing won the Euros. That's what they both got 3 trophies. Obviously, like that's
but the World Cup is bigger than the Euros.
Yeah. I'm just throwing the question out there. I'm not saying which is either. I'm generally just throwing out there.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You can't make up something yesterday.
I didn't make up anything.
Not you. I'm saying.
Wait. What did Hook say? Wait, go to what Hook said, because Hook. I said the World Cup is bigger than the Euros, and Hook wasn't sure.
No. I'm just like, the way that I'm seeing it is like, I don't care how fans view it. Do you get what I'm saying? All I know is these players, they go into international competition and they're all trying it's like with any competition, players try their hardest to win these competitions because they're competing for medals. Do you get me? So
yeah, of course.
I don't think you can do the comparison. Like, because if so for example, if we say the World Cup is like the highest like rate, I don't even know how to rate it, but the highest like trophy there is in international football, then some people might even argue in football in general, the World Cup might just be the highest. Yeah,
it's the highest.
It is. We all know that it's higher than Champions League. It might not be. It is. It's the.
So then, cool. Messi's got the 1 World Cup. Yeah. Which for another day we can discuss it another day, but I think Argentina won it under very fugazi circumstances. And then he's got the 2 Copa Americas. So now, if we take the 2 Nations Leagues that Ronaldo has, which is 100% from a quality perspective, because it's only been around not too long, lower than the World Cup. The Euros, in my opinion, I think the Euros is a lot higher competition than the Copa America. That's just my personal opinion. And because the exact same teams that are in the Euros are in the Nations League as well, I would then say the competition in the Nations League is much higher than the competition that's in the Copa America. So that's where it becomes a bit tricky, because man, I play man like Panama and them man over there, and nobody can tell me who plays for them, man. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I don't think it's fair, because you know what it is, if they make up another cup in Copa America and all that, cool. You can't just make up another European Cup and then now you're winning this new thing. You got more chances of winning stuff, and now you got more trophies than Messi. I don't think that's fair. Unless they make another one up for them lot to win, I don't think it's fair, bro. I don't think it's fair, man. You can't just don't they have
another
win now.
Don't they have
No, you're thinking of the finalisma thing, which is just the winners of the Euros versus the winner of the Copa America. It's not even an actual trophy. It's more like a glorified friendly again. So that's not actual. They don't actually have one like Nations League for Copa America. But bringing it back with regards to the international side of things, England. That's what we was going to move on to, away from the Nations League. They've played some friendlies. And I think it's fair to say Thomas Tuchel has not had the impact that many thought he would coming into this English side. Some selection headaches. Not many people are happy with the selections. Hooks is calling him Westgate, saying that he's saying he's been planted from Germany to come and ruin England. Like, what's going on, D? I'll come to you first. They obviously lost 3-1. First loss against
the Senegal. Yeah.
What did you think of that game? And I mean Thomas Tuchel and his setups.
Do you know what? He had because the first game against Andorra, he was talking about Henderson was playing, and he dropped Rice and he dropped these players, and he said that Henderson's been performing in training or something like that. So this game, it was like the generic players that you think should be playing. Like Lewis Kelly was at left back and Rice was playing, Saka was right wing, all of that. But the fact is, Senegal played on the break and they were dangerous. Now, for some strange reason, England just can't. They want England to play how they think the new way of playing is. That new way of playing, that's what they think that England should be playing like. When really and truly, you just don't have that, that natural flair that everyone should have. For some strange reason, the England players all have it, but just not enough. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the best England,
nice. They don't have it, man. They do, a lot of them.
No, but I mean, like they do. They have. Like, you got players like Foden, he has it, but he's just not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like Cole Palmer. In England, the problem that they have is there's so many players that, in theory, should be playing. So you look at like in goal, you got Pickford and Henderson and Pope and Ramsdale. Any one of them can play. No one really. It's not like this one's a standout number one. Pickford's probably the best, but any of them can play. Left back, you got Lewis Kelly and Lewis Hall. Any of them can play. You got Stones and Gahey and Maguire, and any of them can play. Right back, you got Trent and Reece James and Carl Walker. Any of them can play. No one really knows who should be playing. You know what I'm saying? Rice is in the middle with you don't know if it should be Walton instead of Rice or Mainu, or whether it should be, you know what I mean, Palmer in the 10, or should it be Bellingham? Should it be Saka? Should it be Kane? Because you think Watkins should be up front because it will make the team play better. But then it's like, well, you can't drop Harry Kane.
That's
you know what I'm saying? There's so many different ideas when it comes to England of how it should be played, that there's no one that can just say, yeah, this is the way we're playing. That's the problem, that there's so many players that you think should be playing. Because really and truly, how can Cole Palmer not be in the England team? But then Bellingham has to play.
Bellingham has to play.
He didn't play yesterday, though, innit?
Bellingham came on.
He got a
goal disallowed. No, Bellingham came on. He got a goal disallowed.
He came on, but the starting team was where a lot of people had questions, innit? Because he had Chalobah and Colwell at the back for one. Chelsea were horrible defensively this season. So starting with two Chelsea centre-backs didn't really make any sense. Going Gallagher and Rice, double pivot. Again, a lot of questions. Jordan Henderson actually started versus Andorra, and that's a 36-year-old Jordan Henderson.
Friendlies. Was it a friendly yesterday?
It was a friendly, yeah. It was a friendly, yeah. It was a friendly, but it was a real heavy. But it was a real. Don't think it wasn't played like.
It's one of those friendlies where the players were really played.
It was really played, and also when you look at, obviously we know black and athletic and
PMP
faster, stronger, and but black and African. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So but that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. We're from African descent.
We were black and African, so we're not even like.
Senegalese, bro. If you see the way these guys when they play, like Papa, what's his name, Nico Jackson and Papa Sarr, Ismail Sarr, them guys, they just seem faster and stronger and like they just breaking up. But that's what I'm saying. That's how they won the game. They weren't better technically, but even players like Idrissa Gueye, as much as he's not the greatest centre midfielder in the world, he just looks way more technical than, say, Declan Rice on the day. Declan Rice is far better than him in football. But you can't compare those guys to people like even like a gay on the ball, the way he turns, and we thinking, all right, who the hell is this guy? Where
You think it's more like pride? Because certain players have got more pride playing for their country than certain other people. Because you've seen African nations, you see the pride when they wear their country colors. It's crazy.
Yeah, as well as I agree. I think it's
so,
you see football fever in England. It's died down, hasn't it?
it's dead.
Yeah.
The national one. It used to be
there in tournaments, literally only in
just
Euros.
about.
You know why? Because everyone plays for England. You know why? Everyone can get a cap. The manager will give everyone a cap just to see who's good. Before, playing for England was so restricted. You had to be a level to play for England. Now I'm seeing caliber centre back. I didn't watch it, but come on, man.
It's silly. It's silly.
Even Ian Wright couldn't even really make it into the.
But Bobby Fowler, Ian Wright, Andy Cole, them guys, they weren't like super, because you had the Rooneys, the Owens, the Shearers. But you see now, like by rights, Lewis Skelly, he does it, but by rights, he shouldn't even be playing for England.
I hear
don't you think that's one of the things that have been I'm not an England fan, so when I watch England and I look at them, I generally look at it from like an outside perspective. But I think that's been one of the problems with England in the past is that, especially under Southgate, is leaning on the older players, the players that are more established, the players with the bigger names, because they're just that player. Harry Maguire, Jordan Henderson, and you saw Nathaniel Klein in teams when he shouldn't have been in the teams, like putting players in teams just because of their name, rather than trying the fresh youngsters that come through and they've got that little. And I think for me, when I watch it and I'm looking, I'm like, they're probably going for all these youngsters now, because when you're talking about technical ability, it's the younger players that have that technical ability, that have that flair, the Fodens, the Colwills, even the Lewis Skelly, he's a left back, but he's got flair about him. He's got some ball play about him. Like, before, that wasn't the type of players that England were producing, but now they're producing those players. I think the problem is the football they play on the pitch doesn't represent the football of what the players have the ability to do. So they're all doing this dumbed down version of what they're trying to do in the Premier League. Like I said, play a bit more, be a bit more possession based, but still it's not actually clinical when you get through to those final third and into that final third of the pitch. So when you watch it, it's just a constant mess. I don't know. What has Thomas Tuchel's system been like? Has it just been changing it up?
I don't know, but like for me, I think England's biggest problem is, and it was even under Southgate, on the eye, it looks like they want to play football, but they never pick the best footballers to start. And I think that's England's biggest problem. Like, I feel like if you want to play this possession, techie kind of ball thing, then you just got to find a way to have Foden, Palmer, Rice, and Wharton all on the same pitch. Obviously, this is going forward now. You got to find a way to have them all on the pitch, which I think is very easy to do. But then you get man like Gallagher.
It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do.
Hard. It's like they want to keep this English like work hard type beat in the team while also wanting to play ball, which the two don't always sync up. So if you want to work hard, you got Gallagher, when really you want to play ball, so you should have Wharton. Do you get what I'm saying? That, like, for me, the solution's mad easy. Like even our striker, Harry Kane, he's one of the strikers in the world that can actually drop deep and play ball. Like, he can do the link up thing. He can spray the passes. He can find the pass. Like, he can get involved in the build up and all of that. But you don't further complement that. Another problem as well. Yeah, and I noticed this a lot in the was it the World Cup last or the Euros? It was the World Cup, no? It was the World
Euros.
Cup.
It was Euros.
Euros. In the Euros, you play Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, all these men want to occupy the same space on the pitch. That's a massive problem, because now they're all blocking each other from doing what they need to do. You got Bellingham always as a 10, always trying to be involved in everything. Like, don't get me wrong, he's good, but he likes to do this thing where, yeah, man, I'm super involved. I look bare involved doing bare stuff, but he's taking up space from the likes of Foden, who you're playing him on the wing, but he wants to come into central areas. And then you got Palmer, play him on the wing, but he wants to come into central areas. So, and then you got Kane up top, who wants to drop deep into those. So you effectively, you got 4 men all trying to play the 10. At the same time.
And also the first bit to do to change the way they play would be to drop Kane and to play with a player that can actually.
You say that, but that doesn't. You don't have.
But
to
the issue is, no, it's not that you don't have to.
to.
What I'm saying is, the first thing that you should, the only thing that you can do to change the way you play immediately, will be to drop Kane. The problem is, Kane's too good and scores too many goals to drop him.
Yeah,
that's the real issue.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You play you have to sacrifice the wingers. Ultimately, that's where you sacrifice, because you know Kane's the best player in the team regardless. You always work around your best player. Kane's going to drop in deeper. What they used to do, and what actually used to work at times, was when Southgate used to do Sterling and Rashford on the wings, because Sterling and Rashford make inside runs. They're always running inwards.
Yeah.
You need forwards that are going to make those inside runs for Kane.
That's not what Sterling. Yeah, but that's not going to win any tournaments with playing Rashford and.
I know. I'm not saying Rashford and Sterling. I'm just saying play the way where you got 2 players.
I know, but there's not. You're not gonna. They do that now. They play with Gordon. They played with Gordon and Saka.
Gordon and Saka both cut in. That's my point. They're not making forward runs. They're not actually players that are playing on the shoulder.
So who are you talking about? Who should be playing? England. You got to name the names.
Well, again, I'm not an England.
Brennan Johnson.
He's a Welsh. He's Welsh.
No.
He's Welsh. He's Welsh. Yeah. Who are you talking about?
I like the job that you've done there, but he actually scored more goals than anyone in this England.
Yeah, but who should be playing? The 2 players? Because you're saying it's easy to do and do this and do that. So
you do. People ain't gonna like it, but I think you throw Rashford in there. Give Rashford a try. He might revitalize.
I just said that Rashford is not gonna win. I'm saying who would you take in and out?
I don't think England are ever winning a tournament though. So when you're saying that,
I know, but you're saying you said what you do is this and what you do is that, and I'm saying this is what Thomas Tuchel's actually got to do. So I'm saying to you, what would you do? Would you drop Saka and play someone else, or what are you doing?
Well, you could play another forward. I can't lie. Like
who?
Watkins could be an option. Watkins likes to take
on the right,
on the wing.
You could you're not listening. I said play another forward. He doesn't have to play as a winger. He can play as a forward. As you said, Kane drops deep.
4-4-2.
4-4-2 and then drop him.
That's not winning no tournament. That's not winning.
You're saying that, but you've got to try. Look, the way you could do a 4-4-2 with him up top is you can put a winger on one side and then you have.
What winger? Say the names.
George, but I think this is the point that Dee's trying to make, is that, like, yeah, you can sacrifice all these other players, but that's multiple changes. Like, if you just sacrifice Kane, that's one change.
But Kane is levels above everyone in the England team.
No,
that's
he's
why
not. He's not levels above Saka, bro. Allow it. Killed it. For England.
I ain't gonna talk about it.
You know, Saka's won best England player over the last.
I don't care what about. I just said he's levels above him. I didn't say for England.
I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is that if you want to change the style immediately, that's really the only change that would immediately change the style. If you have a striker that runs forward towards goal more so than this way, because Kane is the best player in the England team, he's the captain, he's the main man, he's the main goal scorer. But I'm saying, if you actually want to change the style, for you to actually say, yeah, we want to now go that way with the ball more so than play pitter-patter around. You can't say, oh yeah, you got to bring Kane's the best player, so you got to bring it around Kane, and Kane comes drop deep, and then you're gonna have to play better wingers on the wing, and then the 2 wingers on the wing are worse than the wingers now. Doesn't make sense.
Maybe you could play Rodgers on the wing,
but not the thing is.
Say Rodgers.
The problem is, England's always had, they get a manager, and that manager thinks he has to put the best English players on the pitch. Like we had that when it was Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard.
Yeah.
You got to play all of them. Right now, bruv, get your system and put players in the system. You don't have to pick Foden and Bellingham. Don't have to play. Well, I think Bellingham should be playing. Then put Foden on the bench. You don't always have to put everyone. You got to make the players fit the system. You get me? Because that's what's every.
We
just put our best players on and think it's going to work.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I agree.
The players. I feel like one of the biggest problems, which you pretty much alluded to there, Dean, is also I think England have all their best players in the same position, and they're all similar. They're all 10s, and if they're not 10s, they're like midfielders or like inside wingers that like.
Yeah, but no, I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with that because you know why I don't agree with that, because they had players in positions that were playing well for England, like Mainoo. When Mainoo was playing for England, it was looking, the balance was right.
Play him. Exactly, play him.
Mainly,
He's not stylish. Play him.
Mainly should be played like Declan
So you
Rice in the
drop
6 and the 8. Drop who?
Drop Rice.
Absolutely
So
not.
I heard you
Rice.
mention Wharton earlier, and now you mentioned Manu. So I don't know.
No, I'm giving examples of players that are not even in the England team. Manu and Wharton didn't play. I'm saying you're playing Henderson and you're playing Gallagher, but you've got players that seem like they fit the system better. That's the point I'm making.
That's the point. You got to fit the system, man.
Yeah, you can't drop
now
Rice.
you might have done the Arsenal thing saying drop Rice.
But you can't drop Rice.
Rice is good, but Rice, I can't
No. You're not missing the point. The point
is
the manager's got a system. Put the players that can play the system. Forget who's the best player. We need to win tournaments. We can't have 5 number 10s in midfield and 1 dropping in the defense. It's long. Like I don't care whose feelings you're hurting. Like if you got to play Elanga on one wing, not Elanga, but you know what I'm saying, someone lesser known player. You get me? You don't have to play
like Chris Wood. Chris Wood might have to play up front, but also we're not giving no credit to Senegal. Senegal were good.
It makes sense, bro. You saw what's it? Spain up front the other day, bro. Come on, bro. Doesn't have to be the best player. You got to fit the system, bro.
You do realize Chris Wood's not English?
No, just as an example.
Is he Australian or something? Or New Zealand?
Yeah, he's New Zealand.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah, but no, we're just using it as an example, bro. Like, it doesn't have to be the best player. Like, if you can get a tune out of 11 good players, yeah, and the system works, bro, that's going to be any team who just, like, you see Real Madrid, they try to put all these Galacticos in one team and it's lopsided, bro. It don't make no sense, bro.
All I know is you just can't drop Rice. That's the only thing that I know is that I would say Rice is the one player in the team that you can't drop.
Oh, it's Rice now.
Rice plays guaranteed. Rice plays guaranteed.
No, we know Rice plays. We know that. Rice turns up
because but Rice. All right, I hear it. I don't even think Rice is the best midfielder in England. But
I can't believe
who is the best midfielder in England.
Like that.
I don't. That's the thing. I don't. But I game recognizes game, bro. Kane is by levels the best player.
Kane's the best.
He can do everything he can do anything that the creative players can do and do it better. That's the maddest thing. He can go in the 10 and he'll be a better creator than half the 10s in England, or 90% of them. So
let's not deflect. Let's not deflect.
But I wanted to go on to Dee's point of Senegal because he is right now because.
Yeah, we're getting no credit to Senegal too.
In the top left, yeah. Senegal, we need to give Senegal some credit, because Ndiaye, Jackson, Sarr. I think a lot of people are underrating that front line, but that's a Premier League front line for one. All of them play for top Premier League clubs, but more than anything, they were balling out, like I said in the transition. D, I'll let you go. Sorry.
Yeah, no, they were brilliant, man. They need a lot of credit because they were giving England major problems. Like, is it Juff? I think Juff was left back. He gave Saka a bad time, torrid time. That Saka was constantly having to run back and losing the ball. They gave him Nico Jackson looked like he was that pace and power and that hold up play that you saw. It was evident. He plays against those guys every day. He plays against Cole and Chalobah every day, and they could not handle him one little bit. That's his team. That's his teammates, and he ripped them to shreds. They were struggling with him. So you gotta give Senegal credit.
You watched it, innit? Who else?
Yeah, I watched it.
Because I didn't watch it.
We're trying to avoid that question, but yeah.
No, questions be asked.
The whole point is to just. He just killed everyone.
I'm not sitting there not knowing, and people just trying to
murder.
People just trying to act like they know stuff.
I'll keep it a whole bunch. Man, I don't watch England. I watch England on a very, very rare occasion, and if I do, it'll be highlights, man. Even that. I watch England to laugh.
He just killed the whole.
Jude saying
that whole 25 minutes just needs to be.
You got Jude saying smart comments every now and again, yeah, like you watched it. I ain't no smart comments.
I went to go. No, you didn't. I watched the highlights though. I did go back and watch the highlights. I made sure. I watched the highlights. So I saw all the goals. I saw Morgan Gibbs White, your boy Hooks, missed some easy shot because Eze was about to have assist of the year, bro. That's crazy when he flicked that on, and I don't know what went on.
It was very
So
dark.
yeah, Dean's going mad.
Yeah,
And on that
yeah.
note, people,
I don't know what I need.
I know now everyone's gonna be like, why
He's
the
only
heck
got to
did
the
I
truth.
just watch the last?
Yeah,
20
that's what they're
minutes
gonna
of
say.
these guys
That's
talking
what
about
they're gonna
England?
say. They just
Yeah,
killed
man.
you, man.
People, at least we know we tell the truth. It's
But,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, there, innit? Uncle Dean doing Uncle Dean things, people.
I can't believe that I told the truth. I hear it. Because I told the truth. People are annoyed. But people, you know what's going to happen? After this is finished, they're going to start. Jules is going to start. I can't believe you just aired me out. I'm going to get all that. He ain't going to answer the phone tomorrow when I ring him. I know it.
Yeah, no more help with thumbnails for Dean, man. No doubt about that. But people, on that note, look, away from Soccer PM, we was all involved in a video that come out on Fam Zone TV. So make sure you watch that. It got released yesterday. You know, foot golf. Who is the real ballers over here? Who can actually kick ball? Who can only roll it? Make sure you tune in to find out.
Who
all
can only
of
roll
that.
it is crazy. Who can only roll it is crazy.
We're gonna talk about it on Trench Talk properly.
Trench Talks, 10 p.m. Friday. We'll be there to do a proper breakdown.
That's the topic.
Yeah, make sure you guys are here every Thursday, 6 p.m. for your Soccer PM podcasts. As you know, released on everyone's channels, Fam Zone TV, Durag Diaries, and Halftime Hooks. Make sure you're subscribed. And until next week, we'll be back. Have a good one. Peace.